Hi, it's your coach Joe Lucas. Welcome to Thursday. Welcome to the 18th of January. Hope, the month is working out well for you today. What I want to spend some time with is talking about the two different psychologies or the two different mindsets that you've got to make a conscious decision on which one you want to roll with. And let me explain what I mean by that. There's the psychology of abundance and there's the psychology of scarcity. There's the psychology, or the mindset of abundance and the mindset of scarcity. And you've got to decide which mindset you're in. So think of it like, okay, like path one, path two, right? Path one is scarcity, and scarcity is your brain is like this. How much money do I need to make to pay my bills? What do I need to survive? And you get, your whole concept of success is basically survival plus or minus 10%. And for a lot of you, in your careers, you've run this pattern and you're not even aware you're running it, right? So like literally every year, like this is the time of year between December and January, most of us, whether we do it in writing or not, we at least think about, hey, what do I want to accomplish this year? And, if you've been operating for 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 years with this survival concept, right, which is just keeping your head above water, you condition yourself to make that your expectation. You don't sit there and consciously say, oh my gosh, I'm in survival mode, but you behave to that pattern. Your actions go to that pattern. And what I mean by that is, and I'll give you some examples. If you're survival oriented, it works like this. Maybe you'll have a good week or a good month. Maybe you drop a big case or something like that. And all of a sudden, like, man, I got my bills paid, I got a little money in the bank, and you give yourself permission to throttle back. Because moving forward, like, let's double down, let's triple down, let's do that, it's uncomfortable. It's almost like there's just something's wrong. And, we could track this, by the way. The beauty of, one of the reasons why I love coaching in this industry, numbers don't lie, right? So if we were to pull your production and income for the last 10 years, and if we were to see this or maybe a little bit of this, but comes back down, right? So it kind of moves up, moves down, but there's never a breakout, right? There's never this kind of 2x, 3x, 4x breakout. I'm going to submit to you that you may have a scarcity psychology that you're not even aware of. And it's a subconscious pattern. Like I said, it's not something you wake up and say, oh boy, here I am. But here's what's interesting. When I work with people in this industry, especially people who have been at this for 10, 15, 20 years, it's until we start talking about it and really kind of shining a light on it, does it become, wow, I never thought of it before like that. And, half the battle as working with human beings is to get them to become conscious, to unsedate them, right? And to really think about things in a different light, like different viewpoint. So if you're kind of one of those, if you're operating in the concept of here's what I need to do to pay my bills, and I just need to do this, and you kind of always kind of ran that pattern for for several years or maybe a couple decades, I'm going to submit to you that until you break that pattern of scarcity, that psychology of scarcity, I don't care what practice management you do, I don't care what marketing programs you do, I don't care what BS you tell yourself in the morning, you're not going to break out. And that's just the way it is. It's an unconscious pattern, okay? Now, the psychology of abundance, and what does that look like? Well, the psychology of abundance is that there's opportunity everywhere. It doesn't mean that you don't fail. It doesn't mean you don't get setbacks. But you always know that you can do better. You always know there's opportunity out there. You don't operate from you don't think in terms of here's what I need, here's my bills, here's what I need to make. You think of, well, what do I want? What do I want my ideal life to be? How much money do I need to live my entire? It's all about moving towards. All right, it's all about kind of going after something. And, that is not, DNA genetically encoded in a human being. That is a learned behavior. That is a learned pattern. And that's the beauty, right? That's a real gift or hope, if you will, that just because you're in scarcity mode for, decades or years, whatever, it doesn't mean that you're sentenced to that. But it also means that you just can't wish it away. That does not work. You need to do a deep dive into your patterns, into your psychology, into your behaviors, and really take a look and say, hey, what's going on over here? Why do I run this pattern? Why do I believe what I believe? Right? Because here's the thing. either you believe there's opportunity or there's not, right? So either you believe there's an opportunity, and I can give you evidence, and maybe I'll do this for the next minute or two, of why not only do I believe, but I make sure all my clients believe that we are in an abundance scenario. We are in an abundance environment, and here's the evidence I'm going to give you. Number one, and by the way, just do your own research on this, right? And we all know this. We're around. The baby boomers are retiring, right? So what does that mean? Well, that means money in motion, right? More retirees, more 401k rollovers, more people needing help, period. And I will say this as a quick sidebar. I haven't added this up yet, but I just know from just talking to pretty much all my clients on a continual basis that a vast majority of them had record asset gathering years, record years. And so far this year, and granted we're 2-3 weeks into it, man, especially if you did like a welcome to a New Year event, you've got meetings coming in, you've got referrals coming in, you've got opportunities coming in. Abundance minded, okay? Number two thing you have going on is we are now getting into kind of the upper curve of the bell curve, if you will, of advisor retirements. Okay, and guess what? This industry, because it's set up a certain way, is not attracting young talent at the level it needs to. So there's a huge gap. And quite frankly, there's a third issue. Guys and gals who need to retire but choose not to. So they just kind of hang out, collect a paycheck, get their asset management fees, kind of play office a little bit, not driving anything, not serving clients at the highest level, not providing value. And it's shocking to me. I see it all the time. I talk to a client, I say, well, I got a $3 million new referral coming in. Where'd that come from? XYZ firm. Why is it coming over? Well, it's fee-based. Well, they haven't had a real review in 2 or 3 years. They hear from the guy or gal once every 6 or 8 months. And we're talking about an account that will generate $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 of revenue, and we can't pick up the phone. We are a lazy industry. So that's the other reason why there's abundance. The standards are so low to be excellent. You just have to be competent. I said this in my business planning event. If you can just get competent in what you do, be consistent in what you do, and care about your clients, you'll be highly successful. That's how low the barrier is. We make it more complicated than it truly is, right? To justify the psychology, right? So I'm giving you evidence why you need to start thinking about it in terms of abundance. There's plenty of opportunity. In fact, I think for the next 5 years, we are in a golden age of just kind of everything kind of coming together from the boomer retirement to advisor retirement. I think between now and like 2025, there's just a real sweet spot. But if you believe it's scarce out there, you'll never see it. It's almost like you don't have the right glasses on. You can't see it. Or you're facing the wrong direction. So I'm giving you this little information today. I've got no offer. I'm not saying, hey, do this, do that. I just want you to stop and think. And tell yourself the truth. There's not a third box. So it's either A or B, right? There's no, well, maybe a little bit. No. See, that's your justification. Are you in scarcity? Or have you been in scarcity? Or are you in abundance? Give that a thought, because that's a huge issue here, okay? Thanks for listening. Oh, by the way, have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.